Hey there, Postal here. So today we're taking out the ME-262HG2. This might just be the best heavy fighter on this line, and that's saying something considering some of the great German heavy fighters that are available in the game. What makes this plane so good? Well, let's start with its speed. It can go pretty fast. Everything that the 262 had at Tier 8, this is just, better. The only thing it doesn't have over the Tier 8 is a rocket, but it doesn't need a rocket. That's how freaking fast this thing goes. Actually, I'm messing this up already, aren't I? Alright, that's fine. That's fine. We're gonna mess this up. So the first battle of the day. Probably not even going to be posted, so I'm probably going to mess up. The second thing it's got going for it is its guns. Its guns are freaking sick. One of the things I didn't like about the Tier 8 that was definitely taken care of with Tier 9 is the guns and their overall effectiveness. They're twice as strong as the Tier 8 guns, and they actually go out a little bit further as far as the range is concerned. Like, what is there to dislike about that? Not a whole heck of a lot. In fact, as soon as I got the top guns for this particular plane, I instantly started liking it, and it wasn't very long after I first got the plane that I got the guns. Do keep in mind they're 30mm cannons, so you will need to aim further out. When in doubt, always aim further out. Let's go ahead and get down. Next thing to love about this plane, it still has the air-to-air rockets that are so beloved. I don't use air-to-air rockets nearly as much as a lot of other people. That's really a failure on my part, not necessarily a failure of the plane, of course. But let's see what we can do here. Not only does it have air-to-air rockets, you also have some really good bombs, in fact. Notice I didn't aim them very well, so I didn't get that complete section.
A rocket has reached the target. Enemy objects.
But you've got that combo that the Tier 10 no longer has. So you've got that over the Tier 10 because you've got the ability to drop bombs and to do air-to-air rockets, where the Tier 10 doesn't do air-to-air rockets anymore. And this whole combination of items makes for an awesome, awesome plane. I can go anywhere and I can do anything other than maneuvering. This plane maneuvers like a brick, and as such you want to make sure that you're taking very, very deliberate turns, very, very deliberate angles when you are attacking enemies. Dang it. Damn it, Janet. Their military base is going to knock out our... We'll capture this before we get the opportunity to. Go. Keep on keeping on here. Multi-roll inbound. F2G, luckily, because I could have screwed that up. Go. Keep on keeping on. Even though their military base is trying to capture this sector. We've got a bomber now inbound. Go. Excellent. We're gonna actually probably get this battle cared for pretty quickly now that we've got both mining facilities. I wasn't sure if we can get the other one or not. Kind of RV-17, which sucks to be him.
The enemy is launching rockets at us.
So
from the
aim out a little bit
military
here,
base.
knock out his engine. Tappity tap. When it comes to large targets, large hit point pools, you want to tap 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 with these guns. I've actually got this plane set up incorrectly too. I've kind of experimented with putting a G-suit on this particular plane, and it's really not helpful because I'm never really in the yellow. As fast as this plane can go, this is the first time I've gotten in the yellow, and so I'm gonna trade out the G-suit for the sight. It just makes more sense. Man, I'm going too dang fast now. Tell it's early, I'm not cussing. Knocked out the enemy HG-2's engine, so he's kind of a dead duck at this point. And there we go. See Fang. Cool. Just cruising along here. Kicking butt, taking names. Let's go ahead over here and do we need to... No? No, we don't. I was gonna say, do we need to capture a sector? No. Let's go ahead and kill these guys over here. Actually, we have to kill ourselves Piggy. So we definitely don't want him getting in the, getting behind us. This would be a time where I would use a control assist if I've had it. Of course, I could have also used rockets there, I suppose. Knocked out his engine. Oh, I was hoping he was going to turn back towards me. He is not. That's a shame. I think we've got the enemy HG-2 coming inbound here. Sort of. I mean, he's going in this direction. So it's running around me.
Victory is close. There's a heavy storm here. Unable to.
But now would not be the time to die.
Do you copy?
So we'll try not to do that.
We've had to yield the plant to the enemy.
Oh, we're going to lose
Regroup
both
and reclaim
plants?
it.
Ooh, not good. This HG-2 knocked out. We're going to move on to the GAs that are inevitably inbound on our military base or on the garrison center. We haven't used our used all our air-to-air rockets, which is kind of a shame. We haven't used our bombs in a while, which is kind of a shame. Let's go over in this direction. See if we can catch these GAs unawares. Actually, we need to get rid of these guys first and foremost, huh? Game over. Too quick, man. Too quick. And you can just see the smoothness of this plane. I wasn't even able to, with getting both mining facilities, wasn't even able to take full advantage of capabilities of this plane. Let's head back. Alright, so we were able to get 13 frags. We only captured those 2 sectors, but we did a lot of holding them off of taking that sector on top of capturing it, which was double duty, and certainly a good thing when we were going for that mine, and we took out the GAs multiple times and a bomber, I think. In really showing the capabilities of what this plane can do versus air-to-ground target, bombers and GAs. Not necessarily showing you the capabilities of what it can do versus air-to-air targets. Now, I obviously was able to take on the bot 262 and the many bots, but when you're going against a human, you didn't run into Deus until the very end there. When you're going against a human, you definitely need to be paying a lot more attention. There's situations there where I was turning where I wouldn't be turning versus humans. Definitely situations where you need to pay more attention to what's around you. For instance, I was going after the 1056, when in reality, if that 262 was a human, I definitely should have been paying more attention to it because it was inbound on me, just happened to fly over me and continue on because it's a bot. So I don't want anybody to think that you can just go out and kind of fly by the seat of your pants, no pun intended, and expect to do well in this plane. It can definitely get caught out. Its biggest weakness is once something's behind you, unless you've got all your boost ready to go and your engines don't get knocked out, basically is unless you can use your speed to get away, if something gets behind you, you're toast. There's not a lot you can do about it. Especially at tier 9. Like I'd say, oh, you know what? The tier 8, go as high as you can go. Just go freaking straight up high. It's not going to save you every time, but it'll save you, half the time or whatever it might be if somebody's literally right on your butt. In this plane, yeah, you could try that, but it's tier 9. There's going to be a lot of planes at tier 9 that can still go up high. So, your best defense is paying attention to the map and putting yourself in a proper position, a proper angle, and going from there. Like I said, I've got this plane set up incorrectly. Yeah. I've got the G-suit on. It's just not coming in handy. Cockpit armor, no reason to put cockpit armor on. There is a discussion that the radio could be used. And that's just the fact of the matter that I've got advanced G-suit, which literally did nothing for me in that particular battle, leads me to believe I don't necessarily need the sight. So I'm probably going to experiment with the radio on this particular plane and see if that helps. Just see if it's something that I can be a little bit more sneaky. This plane as a sneaky plane could be a very deadly plane. So I'll test that out and I'll keep you all posted. But otherwise, I've set this plane up for complete speed. I'm actually gonna trade this out for pneumatic control assist. So I used to have pneumatic control assist on here. I traded it out because I figured the G-suit was going to come in handy and I didn't need the control assist. I'm changing out the G-suit, so yeah. But going back to this plane, it is an incredibly strong tier 9 heavy fighter. It is definitely in the discussion for the better of the two. The other one being the F2H. I still prefer the F2H simply because it's a little bit more flexible. The guns are weaker on the F2H, but otherwise, it's a little bit more maneuverable and there's just some smoothness to it. I don't use the air-to-ground rockets all that often on the F2H. To be honest, I use the bombs on this a lot more than I use the air-to-ground rockets on the F2H. And so there's definitely a discussion. There's definitely a worm in my brain that tells me the 262 HG2 is actually going to be the better of the two planes. I think the for the everyday flyer, the everyday pilot, the F2H is going to be the easier of the two planes to play because it's got that 20 mil cannons, which are much more consistent. It's got a little bit more maneuverability to get you out of issues when you get stuck in them. But for a seasoned pilot, the 262 HG2 is probably the best tier 9 heavy fighter in the game. It's got the bombs, it's got the air-to-air rockets, it's got the speed, and man, it's got some good looks too, doesn't it? I don't know if that's helpful or not. Anyway, I hope the whole conversation was helpful. I always like to just, have a dialogue about planes. I certainly like to hear your guys' responses because I'm not, the end-all be-all when it comes to setups. This is a prime example of putting the G-suit on this plane is a waste of time, I can tell you that. As fast as this plane goes, and it does go very fast as you saw in this battle, it's not necessarily sticking in the high-speed yellow long enough to warrant the G-suit. So hey, we've all learned something today. I'd like to learn something from you guys. If you've got anything else you want to say about it, feel free to tell me below. I'm really just a FYI, I'm getting higher on the followers, subscribers, whatever the heck it's called for YouTube. Pushing 650. I really want to try to get above 1,000 this year. So if you guys wouldn't mind sharing, subscribing, doing all that jazz. Most of the people that watch my videos do subscribe, and I appreciate that. 2 out of every 3 are already subscribed. But if you guys wouldn't mind sharing me, not in a weird way, just to get my visibility out there a little bit. I really would just like to get above 1,000. I'm making that my goal. I'd love to do it this year. At the pace I'm on, I'll do it by the end of the year. But I'd like to do it sooner if possible, maybe by the summer, and I could do some fun interactions at that point and have some sort of maybe not a contest, but just something special. If once I meet 1,000, I'd love to do it over the summer, which would mean I'd have to double up on the speed of my subscribers at this point. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you all have a great day, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.